Are you in control, or are you being controlled? Look around. We've built a world of instant connection, yet we've never been more distracted, more fragmented, more reactive to the endless stream of noise that batters our minds. We optimize our businesses, our finances, our bodies, but we leave the most critical component, our own inner state, to chance. It's a paradox. We have more external power than any generation in history, but we've abdicated our internal sovereignty. For years, I operated this way. As a tech entrepreneur, I was a master of external strategy. I could map a market, dissect a competitor, and drive a team with relentless force. But inside, I was a leaf in a storm. My mood was dictated by stock prices, by a difficult client, by a line of code that wouldn't compile. My success was a hollow shell because my peace was conditional. It was only after a catastrophic burnout that I discovered the truth. Real strength isn't about controlling the world outside, it's about mastering the world within. And the blueprint for that mastery isn't new. It's ancient. While my own journey led me to the Stoics, to Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, I learned that every great enduring tradition had its own engineers of the soul. They all built powerful operating systems for the human mind, designed to forge resilience in the face of chaos. Today, I want to share a tool with you from one of the most time-tested of these traditions. For over 3,000 years, Jewish sages developed and refined a mental technology to remain calm, centered, and powerful in circumstances you and I can barely imagine. This isn't about religion, it's about psychological architecture. It's a 5-minute ritual, a piece of mental code that modern neuroscience is only just beginning to understand. Forget the fleeting hype of motivation. We are here to do the real work. We are here to build an iron mind. Are you ready to stop being a reactor and start being an architect? Let's be clear about a popular and dangerously misunderstood word: mindfulness. Today, it's sold as a passive retreat, a soft, gentle escape from the pressures of the world. You're told to let your thoughts float by like clouds. This is a pleasant fiction. True mindfulness, as the ancients understood it, is not passive. It is an act of supreme focus, a rigorous and disciplined training of the attention. It is the practice of standing your ground in the battlefield of your own mind. The Stoics had a word for this: prosoch. It means paying constant, vigilant attention to your inner state, to your judgments, to what is and is not in your control. It's about being a warrior, not a dreamer. And centuries before this concept was packaged for Western apps, Jewish thinkers were practicing their own demanding form of it. Practices like hitbodedut, a kind of secluded, intense self-dialogue, were not about blissing out. They were about wrestling with the truth, focusing the mind with such intensity that the external world and its chaos simply fell away. There's a profound teaching from the Talmud, the ancient repository of Jewish law and wisdom, that perfectly captures the failure of our modern, scattered approach. Tafasta meruba, lo tafasta. It translates to, if you have tried to grasp too much, you have grasped nothing. Think about your average day. Your attention is fractured across a dozen apps, 100 notifications, 1,000 trivial demands. You are trying to grasp everything, and therefore, you have a firm grip on nothing. Most of all, you have no grip on yourself. This is the source of our anxiety epidemic. Anxiety is the tax we pay for a mind that is perpetually time-traveling, ruminating on the past or catastrophizing about the future. The ancient solution was radical in its simplicity. Anchor the mind in the only moment that is real, the present. This isn't an escape from reality. It is the deepest possible engagement with reality. So I ask you, where is your attention right now? Is it here, focused and deliberate? Or is it scattered across a dozen worries and distractions, grasping at everything and holding on to nothing? How do you anchor a mind that is built to wander? You don't fight the storm, you build a better anchor. You give the mind a single, powerful point of focus. In our modern world, we might call these mantras or affirmations, but these words have become weak, diluted. The tools I'm sharing with you are different. They are forged in a language considered sacred, where each word is a key designed to unlock a specific psychological state. These are not wishes whispered into the void, they are commands issued to your own consciousness. They are tools for mental engineering. Let's examine the first two. The first is Ein od Milvado. It means there is nothing else besides this. In its theological context, it refers to the divine, but I want you to understand it as a psychological prime directive. When you are faced with a chaotic situation, a market crash, a project on fire, an explosive argument, your mind generates 1,000 different narratives, 1,000 potential disasters. It projects you into a future that doesn't exist. Ein od Milvado is the command to shut down the noise, to bring your entire focus to the single, objective reality in front of you. Not the story you're telling yourself about it, but the thing itself. There is only this moment, this task, this breath. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius practiced a similar technique, systematically stripping events of their trimmings, the dramatic emotional judgments we add to them, to see them as they truly are. This phrase is a razor that cuts away the fat of fear and speculation, leaving only the lean meat of the present reality. The second anchor is Ribono, Shel, Olam. This translates to Master of the Universe. Again, let's set aside theology and look at the psychological mechanics. When you silently repeat this phrase, you are performing a crucial mental shift. You are acknowledging that there are vast forces at play beyond your control. This is the Stoic dichotomy of control in 3 words. It is the ultimate act of humility and the foundation of tranquility. I remember a time, years ago, when a multi-million-dollar deal I had spent a year building collapsed overnight because of a market shift in another country. It was a brutal, seemingly random event. My first instinct was rage, panic, blame. I was a victim of chaos. But repeating a phrase like this, acknowledging the vastness of the system, would have immediately reframed my position. It's not about surrendering. It's about reorienting yourself from a position of fighting reality to a position of mastering your response to reality. You cease to be the victim and become the strategist once more. What is the one major problem in your life right now that you are trying to control, when you should instead be focusing only on your response? Once you've anchored your mind and defined the boundaries of your control, the next step is to cultivate the precise inner states that lead to effective action. This isn't about positive thinking. This is about building the emotional and mental platform from which you can operate with clarity and strength. The next 2 Hebrew phrases are tools for constructing that platform. They are mantras not of passivity, but of powerful internal alignment. The third phrase is Shalom. Most people know this word to mean peace, but its root is far more profound. It means wholeness, completeness, integrity. It's the state of a system where all parts are working together in harmony. When you use this word as a mental anchor, you are not wishing for an absence of conflict. You are commanding your own inner world to become whole and integrated. Think of a stressful business negotiation. The typical state is internal division. Part of you is afraid of losing. Part of you is greedy for more. Part of you is angry at the other side's demands. Your mind is a civil war. To introduce the concept of Shalom is to unify those warring factions toward a single, coherent purpose. It is to bring your fear, your ambition, and your reason into alignment. Peace is not the goal. Peace is the byproduct of a mind that is whole. The fourth and final phrase is perhaps the most powerful. Adonai, Hineni. It translates as Lord, here I am, but the truest meaning is in that one word, Hineni, here I am. It is a declaration of radical presence and total readiness. It is the ultimate acceptance of the current moment and your responsibility within it. There is no past, no future, only the stark reality of the now and your choice to show up for it completely. I learned the power of this principle, without knowing the word for it, during the darkest day of my entrepreneurial career. A key partner was leaving, our funding was in jeopardy, and my team was looking to me, their leader, for answers I didn't have. My mind was a whirlwind of panic. In that moment, I walked into the conference room, looked at my anxious team, and something inside me just stopped. I let go of the future, I let go of the blame, and I became completely present. Here I am. And from that place of total presence, not panic, came the clarity to say, I don't have the answer yet, but here is what we are going to do right now. Hineni is the antidote to overwhelm. It is the ultimate statement of personal accountability. When was the last time you truly showed up for a moment without distraction or reservation? When did you last say, with your entire being, here I am? Knowledge is useless until it is applied. Theory is a luxury, practice is the crucible where strength is forged. We have the architectural blueprint. We have the core components. Now we build. I am going to guide you through the 5-minute ritual, this process of mental engineering. I want you to treat this not as a relaxation exercise, but as a training session for your mind. You are entering the forge. You are here to deliberately and systematically build your inner citadel. Find a place where you can be undisturbed for just 5 minutes. Sit upright in a chair with your feet flat on the floor. This is a posture of dignity and attention, not slumber. Close your eyes. We begin. Step 1. Settling. The first minute is about taking command of your physiology. Your breath and your nervous system are inextricably linked. He who masters his breath cannot be mastered by panic. Breathe in slowly through your nose, deep into your belly, for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 4. And exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. As you do this, begin to silently repeat the anchor phrase, Ribono, Shel, Olam, Master of the Universe. With each breath, you are not just breathing air, you are breathing in the reality of the world as it is. You are acknowledging the vast, complex system you are a part of. You are reminding your frantic, ego-driven mind that it does not control everything. Feel the tension in your shoulders begin to subside. You are not surrendering your power, you are surrendering your illusion of control over that which is not yours to command. Continue this for the full minute. Inhale, hold, exhale. Ribono, Shel, Olam. Step 2. Grounding. Now we shift the focus. Continue the deep, rhythmic breathing. On each inhalation, I want you to silently use a different phrase, a phrase of creation. Yehi or. It means, let there be light. As you breathe in, I want you to visualize a clean, white light filling your chest, your core. This is not a mystical exercise. This is a psychological directive. You are instructing your mind to create clarity. You are focusing on the concept of illumination amidst the mental fog. With each breath in, yehi or, you are choosing to generate your own internal clarity rather than waiting for the external world to provide it. You are taking responsibility for your own light. Don't passively wait for it. Command it. Yehi or. Feel that focus, that point of light, growing steadier and brighter within you, a beacon in the noise. Are you creating your own clarity, or are you waiting for the fog to lift on its own? You have taken command of your physiology and generated internal clarity. The foundation is set. Now we refine and integrate. We continue the work in the forge, moving from broad strokes to the fine-tuning of your inner state. Maintain your posture. Maintain your breath. Step 3. Release. You have brought light in. Now you must consciously expel the darkness. Continue your measured breathing. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 6. On each long, slow exhalation, I want you to silently use the third phrase, Shalom, wholeness. As you breathe out, I want you to visualize all the mental friction, the anxiety, the resentment, the petty frustrations of your day, leaving your body with the breath. See it as a gray smoke dissolving into nothingness. You are not fighting these thoughts. You are not wrestling with them. You are simply letting them go. You are exhaling the division and returning to wholeness. The exhalation is longer than the inhalation for a reason. It physically calms the nervous system. You are using your body to instruct your mind. Breathe in clarity. Breathe out chaos. In with Yehi Or. Out with Shalom. This is the rhythm of resilience. This is you, systematically cleaning your own mental house. Step 4. Presence. Now, let your breathing return to a natural, easy rhythm. Bring your full attention to the feeling of the chair beneath you, the air on your skin, the subtle sounds of the room. This is the bedrock of reality. In this state of calm alertness, begin to whisper the final phrase, either silently or just barely audibly. Hineni, here I am. With each repetition, feel yourself arriving more and more completely in the present moment. You are not in yesterday's mistakes. You are not in tomorrow's anxieties. You are here, present, ready, accountable. Hineni. This is not a request, it is a declaration. It is the statement of the sovereign mind, fully occupying its own territory. Feel the quiet power in that simple statement. Step 5. Integration. For this final minute, release the phrases. Sit in silence. Your only task is to notice. Notice the shift in your body. Notice the quietness in your mind. Where there was tension, what is there now? Where there was a frantic storm of thoughts, what is there now? Do not judge it. Do not analyze it. Simply observe the new state you have engineered. This is the proof of your work. This feeling of calm, centered strength is not an accident. You built it. In 5 minutes, you deliberately architected your own inner peace. Know that you can return to this state whenever you choose. It is now a tool in your possession. Slowly, when you are ready, open your eyes. There is a tendency to believe that these practices are for quiet times, for moments of peaceful reflection. This is a fundamental misunderstanding. These tools were not forged in monasteries, they were forged in the crucible of crisis. They are not for the good times, they are for the moments when the walls are closing in. Their purpose is to build a mind that is not just resilient, but anti-fragile. A mind that doesn't just withstand chaos, but actually grows stronger from it. The history of the Jewish people is a 3,000-year case study in this principle. Faced with exile, persecution, and existential threats that would have shattered other cultures, they endured. This endurance was not an accident. It was the product of a culture that prioritized the training of the inner world above all else. Their bodies could be imprisoned, but their minds remained sovereign citadels. Think of a figure like Rabbi Akiva, a great sage who lived under brutal Roman occupation. He witnessed the destruction of his nation's holiest sites and the torture of his colleagues. He was eventually arrested and sentenced to be flayed alive. The story goes that as the Roman executioners were tearing his flesh with iron combs, his students saw him reciting his prayers, a look of profound serenity on his face. They asked him, "Our master, even now?" And he replied that his entire life he had been waiting for the moment when he could fulfill the commandment to love God with all his soul, meaning even as his very life was being taken from him. Now, you do not have to be religious to understand the sheer power of this mindset. Here was a man whose external reality was the worst imaginable horror, yet whose internal state was one of purpose and peace. He had built an inner citadel so absolute that not even the most barbaric cruelty could breach its walls. This is an extreme example, but the principle is universal. The goal is not to live a life free of pain, difficulty, or injustice. That is a fool's errand. The goal is to build an inner character so strong that these external events lose their power to break you. They didn't just survive, they thrived by mastering their inner world. The chaos you face, the market downturns, the corporate politics, the personal betrayals, is real. But it is not the ultimate reality. The ultimate reality is the state you choose to occupy within your own mind. Is your mind a fortress, or is it a house of cards, ready to collapse at the first gust of wind? We have explored the theory. We have walked through the practice. Now comes the only part that matters: implementation. An architect's blueprint is nothing but a piece of paper until the foundation is laid and the work begins. Your mind is no different. This 5-minute ritual is a powerful tool, but like any tool, it is useless if it sits in the toolbox. You must make it a part of your operating system. True change does not come from a single moment of insight. It comes from the disciplined repetition of effective habits. Fortitude is a muscle. It is built through daily, consistent training, not through occasional, heroic efforts. Here's my challenge to you. I am not asking for a lifetime commitment. I am asking for a 1-week experiment. That's it. 7 days. I want you to install this ritual into your evening routine. Find 5 minutes, perhaps right before you go to bed. Put your phone in another room. Turn off the television, the laptop, the endless stream of digital noise. For 5 minutes you will sit, you will breathe, and you will do the work. No screens, no distractions. Just you and the forge. 1 week of consistent practice is enough to prove the concept, to give you a tangible, experiential taste of what it feels like to have command over your own mental state. You will sleep better. You will wake with more clarity. You will find that the small anxieties of the next day have less of a grip on you. After you have completed the 7 days, I want you to come back to this video and leave a comment. Share your experience. Report on the changes you observed. This is not for me, it is for you and for the community we are building here. It is an act of accountability. By documenting your process, you make it real. You reinforce the new neural pathway you are building. This is how we move from being passive consumers of information to active architects of our own character. The choice is simple. You can click away from this video and return to the default state of distraction and reaction, or you can commit to 1 week of disciplined practice and begin the most important work of your life: the construction of an unbreakable mind.